It's time for us to move. So I better keep going. Oh, look at that. That's him. It looks like he was heading somewhere.
Lord above, what is it now?
I'm back from scouting.
I'm back from scouting, sir.
Excellent. What have you found out?
It's in some overgrown ruins. I tried to count them. There are bandits there. Their arms and armor.
I took a look at their arms and armour. They're not a proper army, but they're equipped quite well.
What about archers?
Alright, interesting. Let's say that they're positioned well.
There's a few of them, and they're positioned well. If we charge them head on, they'll probably do us a lot of damage.
I don't like the sound of that. It complicates the situation. Dealing with them before the battle would be the best option.
It's in some overgrown ruins.
There's an overgrown, ruined village in the woods where they're dug in.
That sounds like Pribyslavitz. It used to belong to Sir Divish before Havelmatic attacked and torched it, and then imprisoned Divish. It's been left abandoned ever since. I was hoping they wouldn't be so organised. Earthworks and fortifications. That's quite a different matter from routing some rabble out of the woods.
I tried to count them.
I tried to count them.
And how many of them are there? Bear in mind I'm relying on what you say. We'll have to call for reinforcements, and that's no simple matter. Every man that comes with us will be lacking somewhere else, and I don't want bandits pillaging some other town because there's no one left to mount a defence.
Let's say that there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. I couldn't even count them all.
Christ. We'll have to gather armed forces from the whole region to defeat them, even if it means leaving towns and villages unprotected. Every able-bodied man will have to come with us.
There are bandits there.
It's mostly bandits in the camp. They're not villagers with pitchforks, but not regular soldiers either.
No more than I expected. I have no fear of them, but underestimating the enemy can be fatal.
I didn't find out anything else.
That's about all I saw, sir. I didn't notice anything else.
That's all right. Did you manage any sabotage while you were there, as I asked you?
No, sir.
Never mind. You did a good job anyway, and you deserve a reward. But now we must get ready to set out as soon as possible and put an end to them. I need you to go to Sir Divish in Talmberg and tell him to send Captain Robard and his men to our aid. There's not enough of us here in the camp.
You can rely on me, sir. What should I tell him?
Tell Sir Robard to bring all his men, leaving only a minimum guard at the castle, and to send a message to Sir Hanush to send his men too. I'll leave our camp almost empty as well. We'll need every man we can muster.
All right, I'll get going.
And be quick. We've no time to spare. God be with you.
Okay, it looks like we'll be heading to Talmberg now. So, what can I say? I think that it's good that I said that there were a lot of them, because those guys that are in those ruins, fortified ruins, they have been extremely well armed, so taking them out would be a good idea. Furthermore, I don't think that they're just bandits. I would say that they were Cummins or the raiders that maybe decided to stay there and pillage surrounding areas. However, surprisingly enough, they did not attack everywhere. They just attacked my village, and more or less they have been just fighting whoever passes through their territory. So it could be that those bandits there are for some specific reason. They're supplies by somebody and they're there. So that, for example, a lord could be kidnapped from here, attacked in a village. Obviously a lord would be well defended. In any case, everything looks extremely beautiful here. Now let's have a closer look at our quest log here. Asset Division of Tallenberg for reinforcements. Okay, let's see. Tallenberg. Right here. It looks like Tallenberg was on the other side than I was riding. In any case, riding through here have been very amusing indeed. The environment here is beautiful. Also, we can see how the politics work here. So we have successfully be gathering all the forces. Surprisingly enough, I wasn't that big of a deal really. I'm more or less just a squire. Squire is somebody who helps a knight and obviously learns the knighthood. As far as I'm aware, the squires end up later on to become knights because they don't know anything but knight related skills. And eventually they become strong and experienced to become knights themselves. Obviously you need to be relatively rich to buy yourself stuff, and you need to be hired by somebody who needs protection. Tallenberg is right there in front of us. Riding through these territories could be as amusing as actually fast traveling. However, obviously that takes quite a bit of time, but just traveling around is worth it sometimes. Okay, we can familiarize with everything, obviously. Okay, he's probably going to be by the arena. As you can see, there are many guards everywhere. Okay, let's cut corners. And we're finally here. Let's see if this guy has more money. He normally has like 20 groschen or something like that.
I'll be with you.
Which isn't much.
Can we trade?
If you've got the coin.
If you got the coin, my friend. He has 0, unfortunately. But I can buy some silver schnapps from him. A treasure map. Wooden cumin shield. Ha, that's surprising. Lockpicks. Okay. And that's it. So that's gonna make him a little bit richer. There are a bunch of soldiers here. We could have a chat with some of them, see what they have to say.
God be with you.
Okay. I would just otherwise speak about the trader, which isn't really what I want to talk about. Let's talk to Sir Robert.
Good day to you.
Good day. Okay, he can only offer me training, defense, maces, and bludgeon sword. I'm not gonna do it. It looks like I don't have to speak with him. I have to speak with the lord of the town. Oh, look at that. That's the guy I robbed. And nobody gave him armor. As you can see, he's like walking barefooted. But he still got an axe. Surprisingly, if you get knocked out, nobody's going to give you anything. She's here. Maybe she has anything to say. Obviously, they could be killed very easily. Anybody's here? No. Let's see on the map. Where could he be? Okay, he should probably be in the church. No, nothing here. I can sit down here. Otherwise, I could read something, but that's not going to happen. Probably I could place a book there, maybe. Let's find out, let's find out, let's find out. Wait a second, come on. Sit down. Maybe that's a good place to read stuff. And now other items. Evil morals in Bohemia. Okay, that's close. On evil morals in Bohemia. The Czechs have keys to preserve the good name and sinfully devote themselves to hedonistic delights. The old of their ilk stuff themselves like pigs and merely idle about in their homes. Whilst the young have taken to dog hunting, the noblemen have begun to do that which once behoved only servants. Where once each lord kept his house clean and orderly, now dogs lie there where air hunters hunted and lords would come to visit them as need be. Today they have devoted themselves to this lowly art, as if they have forgotten about their own blood. Ere they would sit at the table and attend to the affairs of the land and see to the multiplication of its peace and wealth. Today they are wont to share a roof. Today they are wont to share a roof with a dog of the hunt, and consider conversation of dogs and hunting to be of the most honorable variety, and thus the wealth of their estates is deteriorating, and the stench of their dogs shall soon kill them. In days yore, when they set off to war their own country, they did not loot, and took only from the enemy. Yet what of today, when they depart upon a military campaign, their first action is plunder to their own country. In times ere they dared not touch the property of the Holy Church and honored it rightly. Today they have no shame in plundering churches and monasteries. Without honor they return from battle, having molested young maidens and drunk every drop of mead. They return home like drunken beasts, and new injustices do perpetrate. Not a single crumb of honor is left in these once proud Czechs, and the time will come when they shall cry over their gain, and only gladly return to the old ways and order. Interesting. Maidens War 2. And the women in their warring off employed deceit and ambuscade. Here, under the guise of a lover, one slit the throat of a young man, there another feigning to be a respectable daughter. Her own father in his own home did stab. One day Stirad, who did in combat slay a great number of Lastas, she warriors, set off with the company of his men, and did with their own ears hear mournful crying, and did see with their own eyes a beautiful girl chained near by a rock, a hunter's horn hanging from the neck, who entreated them to show into her mercy and to free her from her bonds. Stirad, having cast aside all caution, dismounted and did draw near to the girl to set her free. The girl gave thanks unto him, and did relay to him that she was called Sharka, and that the woman of Devon had pounced upon her, and bound her for her unwillingness to wage war against the men, and to humiliate her had hung a horn upon her neck for her to call for help. And before her they set a vessel of mead for her agony to stoke as she died of thirst. She comforted her, and together the mead they did drink, and they conversed until the entire company was overcome by sleep. And Stirad, emboldened by the mead and the delicate voice of Sharka the horn, did grasp and blow it with the full force of his lungs. Forthwith a storm did arise, a cry rang out, and from all sides did ascend upon the band of armed women, and having slayed all the men, put Stirad into the restraints from which he had freed Sharka. She stood above him laughing. In the morn, for to mock the man, a great wheel was brought out in front of Devon, and in its spokes was woven the broken body of Stirad. When the other man had received news of this happening, young and old from all corners of the land sprang forth to avenge his tortures, that none have ever seen such an army as the one that then laid siege to Devon and soon conquered it. Many girls fell upon that day, and many more fled, never to be seen again. Those that survived begged their brothers and fathers for forgiveness, yet spared they were not. When the men had slain the girls' army in its entirety, then took to destroying Devon, until all the remaining was thus and thus far, and thus was ended this time of strife. Okay, that was a interesting book. Oh, look at that! He came himself.
God bless you. What troubles you?
Sir Radzik asked for reinforcements.
Sir Radzik sent me with an important message. He asked for reinforcements.
He needs more men? What's going on?
The bandits and Cumans have set up camp in Pribyslavitz. They're preparing for something. Sir Radzik wants to mount an assault on them, but he doesn't have enough men.
Hang on. Easy now. From the beginning. What happened?
I managed to track down the camp of the bandits who raided Neuhof. But it's not just a gang of brigands, more like a small army in a fortified encampment. I don't know what they're up to, but I'm sure they're getting ready for something, and Sir Radzik wants to destroy them before they get a chance.
So it's worse than I thought. But Sir Radzik is right. We should do something about them before it's too late. I'll send my soldiers.
Sir Radzik said to take all your men and leave only a minimum guard at the castle.
What? We can't leave Talmberg unguarded.
We've no choice, sir. The bandits have an awful lot of men. Sir Radzik is leaving his camp almost empty as well. He even said you should send word to Sahanish to send his men too. We need every man we can muster.
All right then. Sir Radzik knows what he's doing. I'll muster the men and send them with Captain Robard in command. Would you lead my men there right now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
May God be with you in battle.
Sir Radzik.
I'm glad to see you, Captain Robard. I hope Henry's explained everything to you.
He did, but I find it hard to believe. Who could possibly put together such a significant military force, and right under our noses?
We'll just have to find out, but I don't think we will until after a battle. If we don't deal with them now, who knows what they'll be capable of in a week or two.
I agree entirely, my lord. What's the plan?
Right, lad. We're almost at the place you described. Now we'll have to advance cautiously. I need you to tell me how it looks around the camp so I can decide which side to lead the attack from.
Sir, that's a big responsibility. I don't think I should...
I asked you a question, boy. You've been there and seen everything, so speak up.
There are 3 ways to get in. Directly along the straight path to the camp, the long way round through the woods and over an old weir, or by a narrow bridge over a deep ditch.
Let's start with the direct route. That sounds like the easiest approach. How does it look there?
That path leads round their battlements. It's fortified and patrolled. The chances are they'd shower us with arrows on the way.
It's a good thing you're here, Henry. We'll have to try another way then.